Another fall foliage stop. Good afternoon, friends and fellow travelers. It's Brandon. Just looking at the colors around us. And today we're visiting Brunet Island State Park in Cornell. One of the parks that I said I wanted to visit when I was doing the Old Abe State Trail. This park is a little further north. The Old Abe State Trail's northern terminus is here. Ash and Charlotte are with me today as we are near the beach at Old Abe State Trail ends here, like I was saying. We are at the beach here at Brunet Island State Park, all the colors, and we look forward to seeing what there is to do here. Now, it is kind of rainy, it's kind of gross, but we're gonna bear with it as the rain is supposed to be coming to an end. So join us and see what this adventure brings us to. Beach this way. Lots of yellows here in fall in Wisconsin. The campground here at Brunet Island begins over there, it looks like. There is some light rain falling. It's going to do so until about 4 o'clock, which is about 25 minutes from now. So we're going to start this video with some light rain. Probably going to go hang out in this little building over here until that rain ends. You've seen this body of water before on our channel. This is the Chippewa River, or Old Abe Lake. And this, as the rain picks up, we walked along when we did that section of the Old Abe State Trail. I had a comment that the area that I did was about 2 miles short of a nice section of the trail with some glacial features. So we might have to get out and do some more of that in the future. Cool little building to get out of the rain for a second, where friends in nature meet. Ash has Charlotte all tucked away. The beach is just out here. Upper 50s, I saw 57 today. It was supposed to be in the 60s, but the rain kind of prevented that from happening. So Ash is going to take a seat with the baby and until this next little burst of rain is over with. But not long and we'll be on our way here at Brunet Island. Emerging from our little shelter here with the rain, looking at the fall colors. It's a little nice area here. There's a place to build a fire in the fireplace. 2 respectable fireplaces in there. But nothing much, just a place to sit. We've been radar watching here as walking down here closer to the water. It's quite the view over to the left, actually, with the fall foliage. Still drizzling a little bit. Any minute now it's gonna let up from what I read. I just sank into a pile of leaves. So Brunet Island State Park, you can see all the colors. And this is the beach. Obviously for much warmer times than now. It's like 57 degrees out. But you can look down and see the little islands, and it's a beautiful little area. Still definitely raining. It's a slight drizzle. A little windy today. One of those state parks that I definitely wanted to get to kind of complete the trifecta of the area, with Lake Wissota being close to here, that we saw when it was still frozen last year, and then hiking or walking on the Old Abe, the Chippewa River, and just seeing all the landscape effects of the area. It's what a view with the foliage, though. It's pretty out, minus the rain. But when you're traveling, you deal with the weather. Looking back out from the other side of the beach area, just a small little opportunity to get into the water. The rain's pretty much trickled down to just maybe a drop here and there at this point. It's Picnic Point over here. I just wanted to run out and see that from an angle over here. Of course, we've seen the Chippewa River so many times on this channel. However, you know, exploring this area and the glacial features of the region, just wanted to kind of get this last little piece of the area before we move on to something else. Lots of stuff to explore. But again, this is a different perspective as it comes with fall. So there are a couple picnic tables over here, hence the name Picnic Point, right near the beach, of course. There is a bathroom slash bathhouse here, but it closes in October, and it's only open during the weekends come September. So a nice little area to have a picnic or so, just to hang out, take a break. The timber trail also is right over here, so we'll take a peek at that. Pretty cool area though, honestly, in the fall when you've got the foliage. Nice fire pit. I don't know what that crane is in the distance that I captured, but working on something. Everywhere we've been lately, friends, I've been working on something. But nice little picnic spot. Like I said, the timber trail is close by. We might do that. It's a cool little view with the colors in the background though. Some oranges, some yellows, reds. Starting to turn into a pretty fall. It's starting to feel like fall with this weather for sure. So again, there is a little bathhouse here, or bathroom. Kind of looks like it has showers in it, but I don't know from this angle. Again, you can see the tables piled up behind it, so it's definitely closed for the season. The colors are just beautiful down here though. That timber trail that I was speaking of is just right here. But it's really more of a fall foliage walk more than your typical just exploring the state park, just because there is so much beauty in the fall foliage of this area. We were kind of not expecting it because, you know, it had been up north, the foliage wasn't even to this level. So just very pleasantly surprised with the colors popping out, lots of leaves falling. It really just resonates with fall. But perhaps the last Wisconsin state park in the near area of where we live that we had to check off of our list. Lots of parking here to the beach. I'm sure it probably fills up more during those summer months, but you could see the timber trail this way. Obviously pretty wooded, and then we'll drive down to the left there and see what there is that way. But very fall looking here in Wisconsin. Right next to the campground is the timber trail here that we're walking on a little bit. Of course, you're seeing all the fall colors, all the trees. Pine, just a little bit. But a nice little trail that goes right behind the campground. Campground again right to our left there. Nice little area, especially for fall. Of course, we're so close to home here, we just drove a little over an hour to get here. Interesting way that tree fell, or part of that tree fell. But Brunet Island, one that I'm happy to get to visit. I kind of had planned it for before Charlotte's arrival, but you know, things just don't sometimes add up and happen the way you plan them. So kind of my final stop in this area, unless I just take the road north and see what it looks like. Can't really tell from here if the campsites are dry or if they have hookups at all. There was also a pine trail that I saw. So very, very simple. Not raining as much anymore, just kind of almost dropping down off the trees. Feels like fall. And a couple weeks ago it really didn't, because it was still 70, upper 70s here. For some of you that might be fall weather, but for us, you know, it gets cold here, so. Ash and Char enjoying their little fall walk. Very simple, but with the foliage, you know, sometimes you want to walk on these trails and just see what the colors are. A little chipmunk hopping up that tree, the far side of it. Definitely pretty and serene. Almost looks more like winter in this area. A lot of the leaves, you know, maybe a lot of these trees are, you know, dead or dying, but you still see a lot of yellows through here. But a lot of these trees have already lost and dropped their leaves, or maybe they don't ever get their leaves anymore. But it's just a very peaceful fall walk. Everybody, you know, everybody needs to just take a walk now and then and enjoy fall foliage if you get it. Some people don't. Some geographical restrictions don't allow you to get fall foliage. But it's a very simple video. I just feel like, especially with where we live, friends, we would be doing a disservice to you all as our community and our friends and fellow travelers by not going out and absorbing the fall foliage in the area. And especially, you know, it's Charlotte's first fall. She is just, you know, a baby at this point, but to have these videos there for the next generation also, it just gives her something to compare to, because this world is ever changing. And that's why I always tell all of you to get out and explore it. You know, we just never know what lies ahead. Very cool trail though. Very cool trail. Of course, friends, we appreciate you watching and joining us on our fall foliage tour here at Brunet Island State Park near Cornell, Wisconsin. If you guys want to see a more photogenic side of our adventures, be sure to follow us over on Instagram. We're right at the cusp of 5,000 followers there, like 4,960 as of this video recording. We're just so thankful for all of you. And I know I keep saying I'm going to post on TikTok, but I think I'm actually going to do it. Get back to it, because we have almost a following of 6,000 people on TikTok. And I feel like, you know, that might bring our community even more ever so connected between our 3 social media platforms. So, possibly more TikTok here in the near future. But again, thank you for all of your support. And this is really just the beginning for us. We haven't even been steadily committed to YouTube for a year. It's been like 8 months, almost 8 months, because it was really like February or March that we really started this journey. And we're almost 800 subscribers. So that's really good. That's really ahead of where other channels are. So it's really humbling for us. And it makes us just want to keep making more content for all of you. A little bit of rain, or it's windy and it's coming off the trees. Speaking of leaves, I just got hit by one. So if you're in need of peace, this, you know, take a fall foliage tour like we are. It might really bring peace back for you. Off into the woods. You know, we've seen a little bit of activity with squirrels and chipmunks, but not deer, not anything else so far. So still really enjoying it out here. Some more reds. As we're walking through the woods here, the timber and pine loop that we're doing, not gonna probably do all of it. It's like a 3.4 mile loop, but it's really flat and considered easy, so it doesn't take very long. But we're hearing owls in the background, so that's pretty cool. I have done a piece of the Ice Age National Scenic Trail that also goes through Brunet Island State Park. Of course, Old Abe, and thus the greater Chippewa River Valley trail system that they have been trying to facilitate for years here. And I mean, that starts here with Old Abe State Trail and goes further south. Looks to be a couple illustrative signs down here, actually. But I had just said, just a few minutes ago, that we hadn't heard any or seen any wildlife other than just, you know, the occasional red squirrel popping its way up a tree. You know, you see those everywhere, of course, but I'm hearing owls, you know, that hoo-hoo sound. So it's really cool. I doubt we would actually be able to see one if we captured an owl on video. I think Ash and I would both be very excited about that. You know, they really live at the top of the trees. So let's see. The Ojibwe people, often called Chippewa, migrated to the Great Lakes region from the northeast states via the St. Lawrence River by the 1700s. So that's really cool. So here is where the Timber Trail and the Pine Trail have their confluence. So the Pine Trail goes this way and the Timber Trail continues. So I'll let Ash make the decision of which way she wants to go. She wants to take the Pine Trail, so we'll go to the right. So again, the Ice Age National Scenic Trail, which is a trail that goes for a considerable distance across all of Wisconsin's features, glacial features, all of our bodies of water. It pretty much spans most of the state, except for the fact that it's not finished. Connects in this park. So it's the Pine Trail. We're definitely seeing pine and colors. So very cool area for fall walk. I hope you all are enjoying this. Our peak fall foliage is probably either gonna happen in this next week or it's already gonna be behind us. So if you like what you're seeing, of course this is in the future, so this video will be in a couple of weeks. If you like this sort of thing, let us know. We'll be happy to take some fall foliage walks again in the future. Really enjoying the scenery out here. And of course, you know, we end the video clip and I either saw an owl fly across the top of the tree line or a hawk. I'm assuming it was a hawk. You know, it's not nighttime, so I have seen owls out earlier than they, you know, technically should or would be, but it really did take off across the top of the tree line. That would be great to see. It's hard to capture owls, you know, because they are so antisocial. But very cool experience. Of course, I wasn't recording when I saw that fly across the top of the tree line. But some really cool little wooded trails here for foliage. We're now on, like I said, the pine loop. Not a lot of pine for the pine loop. And there's a little bit of fungal growth over here even. Some pretty cool mushrooms. Looking back into the woods further. Really cool out here. Leaves falling, friends. Squirrels chattering back and forth. And the ever so slight call of an owl here and there. Really making this an interesting little trek through the woods. There's a little squirrel right there on the branch calling out. I know you can hear that. Just the sounds of the forest. Very cool. One squirrel calling to another. Maybe a warning call since we're in the area. Who knows? Another trail confluence right here. Probably part of the loop. The road is this way. I just want to see if it goes across or if this just takes you to the actual road. There was no marker or anything, so hard to tell. I got really up close and personal with a squirrel. Captured a couple pictures of that. So again, if you want to see that, it'll be over on the Instagram. But walking over towards the road just to kind of see. Yeah. Looks like the Spruce Trail goes off that way. I did hear about the Spruce and Pine Loop. So this is where the Spruce Trail goes across the road. Right up that way. Looking down the road, sure does look like fall. Back out. This is further towards the park entrance. Back where it's still two lanes. The boat landing is right here. So if we take off that way, we will eventually run into where we parked. Really cool spot though. So the Spruce Trail takes over right over here. And is another one of those loop trails through this park. So spruce, pine, and timber. So lots of wooded names for their trails in this park. So very cool. But this one looks like it's going to take us over by the water, which I think we'll do, and then we'll start to wrap it up and head back. The baby and Ash are probably both getting hungry. But you know, what is it if you come to an island trail and you don't go over by the water? So we're very close to it. Just want to take a peek this way and we'll see. I definitely smell the spruce. That's very, very pungent smell of spruce throughout here. And you know, I probably wouldn't rate this park very highly if it was just a random day in the summer walking through, but this park is very, very pretty during the fall. To walk right along the river and to see all the foliage, very nice. Spruce Trail. You can go out on the little dock there. Spruce Trail goes off that way towards the parking lot, so we might go that way because we are down parked in that direction. Here's the water, the Chippewa River. With the colors in the background. Small little floating dock you can walk up to. I'm going to go out there in just a second. Prevent the spread of invasive species. Sign about walleye also. Another location I was kind of interested in was this Brunette Woods State Natural Area. The town of Cornell is also there. The Fisher River also eventually flows into the Cornell flowage. But wow, this is what it's all about here, friends. Typical Brandon fashion, I about tripped. Looking down the river, or up the river rather, out onto the dock. There's a pretty bridge that way. That's cool. Starting to rain again, of course, now that we're out here on the floating dock. But wow, beautiful out here. Back over next to the dock now. Gotta try the water temperature in typical Brandon fashion. Cold. I mean, I'm sure you're not surprised by that, are you? But just one more gander, and down that way there's an old bridge that I don't think any trail goes directly to. It looks like an old trail bridge, but really cool find, especially when you can look down both ways on the river and see all the foliage taking off. Just very beautiful. And I would recommend this park for many people that are looking for fall foliage. So we're going to take back off. There's Ash and Charlotte down that way. We'll take off down the Spruce Trail, which should take us back towards where we're parked. That's my guess, because it's this way. That way, down that direction, will take you towards the entrance to the park. I've been here for a good while, battling rain pretty much throughout the day. It did say it was going to pick up a little bit, so we might have a little rainy walk back. No thunderstorms, nothing that would really be too daunting on this little walk, but some light rain for a few minutes. It did say all of the rain would be out of the area by 5 to 5:15 p.m. and it is 4:41. But now we're really getting a scenic walk as we walk, right next to the river. And again, we're on this Brunet Island right here. So it's really cool that we actually found the trail. And we get the opportunity to walk right next to the water now. Where we have been so attached to the woods and just walking on a wooded trail. It's still wooded, but now water on one side. We always pick, and Ash can attest to it, we always pick these adventures where we never do it the easy way. We're always, in the rain, or we do it the hard way, for the lack of a better term. But the traveling Whitcombs, as you'll learn through the years as we do YouTube, we always do it our way. But why not, right? So, lots of spruce with the Spruce Trail. Trees down. That's pretty cool. The leaves pretty much falling down into the water all the way there. It'll be interesting. I'm gonna look for some more festivals, especially since winter is in the near future. We have some big news potentially coming up about Ash and my big day. So as we get that more ironed out, we might be discussing our future travel plans in regards to that with you. I'm glad there's lots of tree coverage right now with the rain, especially in terms for the baby. So, but we are in the direction of heading back. So there is that. Starting to head back towards the car. But now with this water background with the foliage, just makes it really worth it. I didn't see the Spruce Trail outlet anywhere where we were, but just geographically, we're heading in the right direction of where we parked, so. And I saw that the road, of course, it starts out two lanes and turns into one, so we're heading in the right direction. See if we come up with anything else on our little adventure here. Now in the rain. Probably pretty hard to see, but there's the big blue bridge down there that we drove across to get to the park. That and the little island out there in the water makes for quite the display out here. Very, very scenic with all the colors. I can kind of see the bridge on this camera. It's a little tough. Again, one of my goals is to get a camera that will zoom in better for you on video eventually. So lots of colors as we head back towards the car. And some light rain. They didn't say it was going to stick around for very long, so at least there's that. Charlotte's very content. She's very warm right now, so there's that. She's got a blanket over her. So the baby is in good spirits. She's actively sleeping, making a bunch of noise back there. So baby is all good. And of course, as you guys know, getting used to this family, she's starting to already get used to adventuring, so that's a positive. Again, the water, very cool area. The bridge over to our left. And I can imagine how we're starting to get close to getting back, because I can see that crane popping up that we saw earlier from that picnic area we stopped at right away. Cool little island out there though. Wonder what that crane's for. Can kind of see the island through the trees there. The reds are really popping up. But this has really turned out to be a pretty cool day with the foliage, and the rain really makes it feel like fall. 50-degree weather and just everything you could hope for in a fall day if you're a fan of autumn, as I know Ash is. She could take or leave the rain, but another angle out there. Coming up to kind of another field and more squirrels chirping in the distance. Kind of a clearance over here. And I do believe that if I look a little further, I see where we're parked. So we're getting close. Let's see if I can't capture this island now. And then we'll be back and just about concluding our day here at Brunet Island. quite a bit more in-depth exploration of this park than I had expected. I expected this to just kind of be a fall foliage tour. We wound up getting on 3 trails today. Nonetheless, they're all part of a loop system, but still, that's a very productive day. Almost back to the car, friends. There's the love of my life right there. What did you think of today, honey?
That's pretty. I like it.
Foliage really added to it. There's the island right in front of us.
It's only good because it's fall.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those parks where take it or leave it if it's any other season. But
It'd be pretty boring.
you know, there's a beach. You could come swim if you needed to, if it was, you know, hot, humid Wisconsin summer. But otherwise, I mean, it's very accommodating. There's a campground, little playground. The trails, accessible? No, not really. They're really kind of, you know, hardened dirt, you know, and I should say packed dirt, and really grassy, so not necessarily so accessible, but
Stroller friendly.
we probably could have got through here easily, more easily than we did at Chattahoochee State Park last week with the stroller, but it still would have been a challenge with all the logs and stuff splayed along the trail. So here's the little playground, and it's really a nice area. Cornell seems to be a little small town, and right where we were just a little bit ago, the car is over to the right. Really nice day, really good walk, and honestly, if you're looking for a fall adventure, this might be the place for you. The kids would do okay with the playground. Friends, I bring you back to me with my hood on now. Ash over there, the baby. We really had fun today. We really got to look at a lot. You know, it was enjoyable. Fall really makes this place pop. I mean, I was very pleasantly surprised. It was kind of like the last state park we had to go to in the area, so, you know, summer is more or less when I had planned to make it here, but it didn't happen. I'm very grateful for that. There's plans. Everything happens for a reason, of course. So, had a great day. We appreciate you joining us. Check out the Instagram and the TikTok where you'll see a different angle of these adventures. For Ash, for baby Charlotte, who's tucked under a warm blanket. For Waylon, Ollie, the kiddos. For Winston, who didn't make the trek today because of the rain and mud. That would have been interesting. I'm Brandon, and I can't wait to catch you on our next adventure because this is just the beginning for us. So we'll catch you next time.